Also, hello everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So what does I love you mean from a narcissist? That's what we're talking about today. So for the listeners, I was just talking to them off air before I started recording. I've muted everybody, and if you have any questions, put your arrow over the bottom and there's a little chat box and you can put it in there. I'll periodically check in with you and see how things are going if you have any questions. But of course, as always, at the end of the call, I will address anything that you need taken care of. So what does I love you mean from a narcissist? So hosted by me, Denise Dominguez. Actually, one of my clients had posted this article in our forum, and I read it, and it was just like, whoa, boom, bam. It really not only resonated with me, but it gave me so much clarity. I was just like, wow. Well, that's why I'm doing the call tonight. Thank you for being here and choosing you as a priority. As you know, my name is Denise Dominguez. I am a woman's empowerment coach. I coach women on resolving unhealthy relationships so they can live a life of freedom, joy, and abundance. I help women embrace who they are so they can be free to create the results they desire in business, life, and relationships. Tonight, I want you to just sit back and relax and take in as much info as possible for you. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be interactive in this call. So like I said, pull up that chat box because tonight I'm asking questions and that is where you can answer them and vice versa. All right, so let's do some housekeeping. This call, ladies and a few gent, is just for you. So make yourself a priority for the next 30 to 40 minutes. That means close out those other tabs on the computer and put your cell phone on silent, unless you're on your cell phone, and just be here with me and do you. Hopefully, you're in a relaxing place to listen to this call. I call it my sacred place. And have that glass of tea, water, or whatever next to you. I have mine, as always, water. And let's take a couple of deep breaths just to be present. All right, here we go. Breathe in. Exhale. And on the next breath, as you breathe in, I want you to think of breathing in love. And exhale all of the crap from today. Just let it all out. Doesn't matter anymore. It's gone. Breathe in. One more time. All the love of you. Breathe out. All of the negativity from today. Just be here with me. Be here. Be present. This call is just for you. So I hosted a radio show on Blog Talk called It's Your Turn Radio. And I'm a speaker. Own Your Story So Your Story Doesn't Own You is my signature speech. And most recently, I am a 2-time best-selling author and international author. That is from last year. But you know, things weren't always this awesome in my life. And after 22 years of being in a very toxic marriage, I decided it was time to leave. I left and moved 3 states away, no job, and managed to manifest $10,000 to leave Florida. And that's not including the 10 days that I was in Colorado on vacation. I did this in only 5 months. I made a plan and followed it and did everything I set out to do. And that's what brings me here tonight, talking to you about an abusive and toxic relationship and one with a narcissist. So why am I able to talk to you about this? Well, because I was married to a narcissist for over 20 years and didn't even know it. I was in an abusive relationship and didn't even know it. I was being used and manipulated and didn't even know it. Well, I kind of knew, but kept pushing and denying the truth. I was too busy trying to save him, save our marriage, and save our family. It's time to recognize these toxic relationships for what they are: unhealthy. Having been through that and come out of it thriving beyond what I could have ever imagined is why I am here sharing my journey of what I learned. I want to give from my heart to you. And I want you to know that if you are in a toxic relationship, you can get out and thrive too. I mean, thrive. I want you to see yourself, your life, and the people around you through clear lenses. If you have already left the relationship, it's now time to recover from being in it. And this takes time. It's now time for you to focus on you and make yourself a priority at all times. This takes time, ladies. This takes energy. It's about you investing in you. What could be better than that? Because you matter. Okay, so what it means when a narcissist says, I love you. Like I mentioned before, one of my clients had posted this article in our group forum. And I want to first, before I even dive into this article, give credit, because pretty much the whole article that I read it's not mine. So the source comes from Psych Central, and it's by Althena Stack, Staik. She's a PhD, and it was published with permission from the author. All right. So the article was kind of like a letter to the codependent partner. So I was the codependent partner, and my ex is the one who would be saying all this. So it starts off with, Dear codependent partner, what I'm about to say is not something I'd ever say or admit to you, because to do so would end the winner takes all game. That is my main source of pleasure in life, one that effectively keeps you carrying my load in our relationship. And that's the whole point. When I say I love you, I mean that I love how hard you work to make me feel like you're everything, that I am the force of your life, that you want me to be happy, and that I'll never be expected to do the same. I love the power I have to take advantage of your kindness and intentions to be nice, and the pleasure I derive when I make myself feel huge in comparison to you. Taking every opportunity to make you feel small and insignificant. So that is my first PowerPoint slide. And like I said, I'm going to chunk this down. And I think I have about 24 slides in total. So just on that slide alone, I want to chunk that down to, well, let's start with one that effectively keeps you carrying my load in our relationship. So to describe the relationship that I had for 22 years was parent-child. I was the parent, he was the child. Even though he was making me feel small and insignificant, I was the one who was definitely carrying the load in our relationship, meaning as a parent would, takes care of everything, takes care of him, does everything. Working very hard to make him feel like he was my everything, because I always felt like I had to constantly prove myself to him, prove I was this or prove I wasn't this. So yeah, he was the main focus of my life, truly. And I was always trying to make him happy because he was always unhappy. I know for me, my narcissist was depressed too. What a combo. And you're right. The article's right. I never expected him to do the same. I was just focused on what I could bring, right? What I could do. And I did give my power away to him every single day. So when it says, I love the power I have to take advantage of your kindness and intentions to be nice, yeah, every day I gave my power away. And, I remember something keeps popping in my head, so I guess I got to say it. When we would get into arguments and it was time to talk, right? Because every couple tries to at least talk things out. I specifically remember him sitting on the dresser. So imagine this. He would sit on the dresser with one leg half up and his elbow would be kind of leaning on it. And I remember always telling him, like, why do you sit like that? Why are you like, it truly made me feel like he was Mr. this big aura and I was, his child. Like I was a bad girl. I did something bad. So definitely feeling small and insignificant in that moment. So the article continues to say, I love the feeling it gives me thinking of you as weak, vulnerable, emotionally fluffy, and I love looking down on you and your childlike innocence and gullibility as weakness. I love the way I feel knowing that through the use of gaslighting, what you want to discuss or address will never happen. And I love this power to train you to feel crazy or even asking or bringing up issues that don't interest me, effectively ever lowering your expectations of me and what I'm capable of giving you while I up mine of you. I love how easy it is to keep your sole focus on my pain, never yours. And that, regardless of what you do, will never make me feel good enough, loved enough, respected enough, appreciated enough, and so on. Misery loves company. So there's another slide. So here's what I'm thinking of today. And if something's coming up for you, ladies, put it in the chat box. I will pop over there and see what you're saying or asking. So yeah, I love how easy it is to keep your sole focus on my pain, never yours. It was all, with a narcissist, it's always about them. Always, always, always. It's never about us. It's never a two-way street. It's never a healthy relationship. It's never going to be, what do you feel? Here's something that's popping up. Like I said, I never knew that I was sleeping next to a narcissist. Never. Even my best friend has said to me years and years ago, Denise, don't you think he's a narcissist? And I honestly didn't even know what that was. But there was a point where he started his first day. So I would notice things, but I wouldn't connect the dots. So he started a new job as a mortgage broker. And on the same day, I had gone back to college and I had started my chemistry class, which, hello, do I look like a chemist? So this class was really, really hard for me. And I was kind of dreading doing it. Plus I was a mom and a wife and taking care of everything, blah, blah, blah. So they both landed on the same day. And I remember laying in bed that night and talking about his first day as a mortgage broker and how did it go. And I was waiting for, him to say, well, how was your day? I don't know what I was thinking. And I remember it never happened. I was never asked, how was my day? How was your first day of chemistry? How did it go? Was it hard? Anything, nothing. So there was a lot of times where I noticed things, but I didn't connect the dots. So I'm going to pop over to you guys and see if there is. Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. It's not about the closeness, empathy, emotional connection you want, or what I did that hurt or embarrassed you, or how little time I spent engaged with you or the children, and so on. It's about my status and doing my job to keep you in your place in pain, focused on feeling my pain, blocking you from feeling valued in relation to me. I'm superior and entitled to all the pleasure, admiration, and comforting between us. Remember? I love you means I love the way I feel when you are with me. More specifically, regarding you as a piece of property I own, my possession, like driving a hot car. I love the extent to which you enhance my status in the eyes of others, letting them know that I am top dog, and so on. I love thinking others are jealous of my possessions. I'm reading this and saying, holy crap, there's so much I need to say. So let me take a deep breath on that one. Okay, so, or what I did that hurt or embarrassed you, or how little time I spent engaged with you or the children, and so on. Yeah, there was, okay, so our children's second birthday, our children are 1 year and a day apart, so their birthdays were always together. So it was our son's first birthday and our daughter's second birthday, which was at Chuck E. Cheese. And here I am trying to host and make sure the pizza comes out and taking care of the two kids and blah, 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 blah. His family's there. Guess where he was? Across the street looking at a new truck. What? Like, what? And this was just occasion after occasion, whether it was birthday parties or family gatherings, holidays. If he was physically there, he wasn't mentally there. And T-ball, you know, his whatever was more important. His, like it says, his status was more important than anything. And I always thought, like, holy crap, if it's not for me, like, look at our kids. Like, you have 2 kids. And it didn't matter. It really didn't matter. It was always about him and his status. It was always about what people thought of him. And he would always embellish what we had. And we had a lot. And I remember we were at a wedding out of town. And he was talking to one of my friend's brothers or whatever. We had already lived in a beautiful 4-bedroom, 2-bath house on a cul-de-sac street pool home. We already had that. But yet he was telling this person that we had more. We had a boat, we had this, and we had that. And it was not true. And I was always confused by that. Why do you have to have more? Why can't you just be happy with what we got? I certainly was happy with what we got, what we had. Thought it was great. So it goes on to say, I love the power I have to keep you working hard to prove your love and devotion. Wondering what else you need to do to prove your loyalty. Oh my gosh, how true is that? Constantly proving, like I said, constantly proving how loyal I was, which meant me cutting off connections to my family and friends, or at least distancing myself, right? Because I was always constantly proving that he was everything. Our family was everything. I love you means I love the way I feel when I'm with you. Due to how often I hate and look down on others in general, the mirror neurons in my brain keep me constantly experiencing feelings of self-loathing. This is the part that you really need to get, that they are incapable, they being narcissists, are incapable of loving anybody because they loathe themselves. You have to love yourself on some level in order for you to love others. So, you know, I teach self-love and I talk about it all the time. And the people and the women that come to me are exactly that. They love themselves. Maybe not every day, maybe not in the way that they, you know, could or experience or know, but they love themselves. Narcissists don't even love themselves. They hate themselves. How could you love somebody else if you don't even love you? So it continues to say, I love that I can love myself through you, and also love hating you for my neediness, of having to rely on you or anyone for anything. I love that you are there to blame whenever I feel this neediness. Feeling scorn for you seems to protect me from something I hate to admit, that I feel totally dependent on you to feed my sense of superiority and entitlement, and to keep my illusion of power alive in my mind. So for my narcissist, he hated himself so much that he attempted suicide. And it was with our 14-year-old daughter in the next room. Now, that doesn't say it is all about me. I don't know what does. It just goes to show you, like through this article, I love this article. I'm so glad I'm doing this call, because it really just brings so much clarity of the way their brain operates, the way they think, and how they can be in relationships, right? Of course, they're charmers in the beginning. They're going to charm you to get you, you know? And anybody can be a narcissist. Like, they could have a nice job. I mean, my ex had a business, his own business. They look like you and me. Nice cars, a house, whatever. Families, marriages. It continues to say that nothing makes me feel more fragile and vulnerable than not having control over something that would tarnish my image and superior status, such as when you question how I treat you, as if you still don't understand that getting you to accept yourself as an object for my pleasure, happy regardless of how I treat you or the children. It is key proof of my superiority to the world. You're my possession. Remember? It's my job to teach you to hate and act callous towards those crazy things that only weak people need, such as closeness and emotional stuff. And by the way, I know this works because my childhood taught me to do this to myself inside. So let's touch on that for a second. Let me hop over to you guys. Okay, cool. Just checking. So I've obviously done some research on narcissism and how are they created? How are they born? And for me, I not only was married to a narcissist, but my son is a narcissist. I mean, full blown. And so while I know a few things of my ex, as far as he was put on a pedestal as a child by his parents for sick and dysfunctional reasons. Not, oh my God, he brought an A home, let's give him a trophy, like he's great. No, it was, okay, so here's an example. His dad so there was 4 boys and his dad would take him only to the bar. Let that sink in for a second. Because he was the only one who wouldn't tell his mom. I guess the other 3 boys were more likely to tell their mom that their dad was at the bar. So the reason why his dad would take him to make it look innocent, like I'm going to the store or whatever, he would take his son to the bar and have him either wait outside the bar or wait in the car until he was done having a drink with his lovely lady, I don't know, whatever. And this was a child. So they are born, obviously normal, but they are groomed and taught how to be a narcissist. I know for my son, there's a lot more clarity around how he became a narcissist. And that was, so we have 2 children, boy and a girl, and he's younger by 1 year, my son, and he was very much put on a pedestal by my ex. For example, when he would do something wrong and needed to be punished, my ex thought that it wasn't fair, and so both of them needed to be punished. Both of the children needed to be punished, even though one of them did the act of misbehaving or whatever. So if that isn't put on a pedestal, I don't know what is. And also just seeing and growing up, because he really is a carbon copy of his father. Let me check over. I see this lighting up. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Hey, Bridget. Are there any questions or steps to be aware of to recognize this person before getting involved and repeating the cycle? Yeah, Robin, there's lots of things. So the more clarity you have around these people, so they will be charmers in the beginning, but they will always still be about them. So there's lots of red flags that you could recognize. That being one of them. My husband never acted like he loathed. That's interesting. All right. So he may have, this is to Joanne, he may have never acted like he loathed on the outside, but he definitely was on the inside. That's for sure. All right. We're already 30 minutes into this, and I'm only on halfway through. Okay. So, but I don't want to rush through this, because this is like, I want you all to have pure clarity around this. I want you to understand that when, like, if you were in a relationship, which most of you were, you understand what it meant when he said, I love you. And that it wasn't the way you expressed it and the way you meant it. It was for him. So as you can see, all of these I love yous are I love you means, or I love you because, or I love you when. Okay, so it makes me light up with pleasure, more proof of my superiority, that I can easily get you flustered, make you act crazy over not getting what you want from me. Make you repeat yourself and say and do things that you'll later hate yourself for because of your niceness. Everything you say, any hurts or complaints you share, you can be sure I'll taunt you with later, to keep you ever spinning your wheels, ever trying to explain yourself, ever doubting yourself and confused, trying to figure out why I don't get it. Holy crap, yes. I remember always saying, and in fact, the last few years of my marriage, I just stopped telling him things because he would always bring it up, throw it in my face, taunt me with it. And it just got to a point where I was like, well, I'm not even going to tell him anything. What's the use? He uses it against me. Simple things about my family, things about my sisters or my friends, you know, always constantly trying to make himself look better than them. They were pieces of shit. And he would point that out to make himself look better. So it goes on to say, there's nothing to get. To break the code, you'll have to look through my lens, not yours. It's my job to show complete disinterest in your emotional needs, hurts, wants, and to train, dismiss, and punish accordingly until you learn your lesson. That is, to take your place as a voiceless object, a possession, has no desire except to serve my pleasure and comfort, and never an opinion on how it's treated. That you can't figure this out. After all, the ways I've mistreated you, to me, is proof of my genetic superiority. In my playbook, those with superior genes are never kind, except to lure, snare their victims. I love that I can make you feel insecure at the drop of a hat, especially by giving attention to other women. Oh, yes. Perhaps, always, others in general, friends, family members, children, etc., and the list is endless. What power this gives me to put a display of what you don't get from me, to taunt and make you beg for what I easily give to others, wondering why it's so easy to give what you want to others, to express feelings or affection, to give compliments, that is, when it serves my pleasure, in this case, to watch you squirm. I love the power I have to get you back whenever you threaten to leave, by throwing a few curves your way and watching how quickly I can talk you into trusting me when I turn on the charm, deceiving you into thinking, this time I'll change. Whoa. So in 2008, I talk about when he attempted suicide, and that was because that day it was real, like I threatened to leave him. And he knew, he either saw it in my eyes or heard it in my voice that I truly, was done. And that's when he tried to take his own life. So, yeah, it definitely was about turning things around. And once again, the focus was on him. Once again, my feelings didn't count. It didn't matter why I wanted a divorce, that I had said this to him over and over again, that it was never addressed. It was always something that would turn it around on him. Always, always, always. So I love you means I need you because due to the self-loathing I carry inside, I need someone who won't abandon me, that I can use as a punching bag to make myself feel good by making them feel bad about themselves. This is how I pleasure myself and the way I deny the scary feelings I carry inside that I hope to never admit, ever. I hate any signs of weakness in me, which is why I hate you and all those I consider inferior, stupid, feeble, and so on. I love you means that I love fixing and shaping your thoughts and beliefs, being in control of your mind so that you think of me as your miracle and savior, a source of life and substance you depend on and bouncing back to like gravity, no matter how high you try to fly away or jump. I love that this makes me feel like a god, to keep you focused, even obsessed, with making me feel worshipped and adored, sacrificing everything for me to prove yourself so that I don't condemn you, seeking to please none other, and inherently with sole rights to administer rewards and punishments as I please. So before I go any further, I want to just, okay, so I'm going to head over to 3 more messages. All right. Okay, so type in the chat box if at this point this is, so I see somebody's mad. I'm mad at him for that demeaning and head game. That's what it's all about. It's all about manipulating the people in their lives. So type in the chat box if at this point you are getting any clarity about what I love you means from a narcissist. I'm interested to know if you're getting clarity around this. Is this making sense? Because I know for me, almost immediately, it was giving me very much clarity of what it meant, which I had suspected, but this really dove deep. Okay, so wait, I just read that one because okay. I love you means, no, I love you. I love how I can use my power to keep you down, doubting and second guessing yourself, questioning your sanity, obsessed with explaining yourself to me and others, professing your loyalty, wondering what's wrong with you instead of realizing that you cannot make someone happy who derives their sense of power and pleasure from feeling scorn for others and you. I love you means I love the way I feel when I see myself through your admiring eyes, that you're my feel-good drug, my dedicated audience, my biggest fan and admirer, and so on. You, and in particular, you're looking up to me unquestionably as you never hearing omnipotent source of knowledge is my drug of choice. And you may have noticed how touchy I am at any signs of being questioned. Yes, I hate how fragile I feel at any sign of thinking that you or the world could judge me as having failed to keep my possessions in line. So let me head over here and see. Okay. Okay. So I got a hell yes. All of this is true. I worshiped him, but it was never enough, and it never would be enough. It makes sense. He probably believes he loves, but he doesn't know what love is. He wants to feel superior. Yes. Yes, I am. It's such a crazy way to view life at others' personal tragedy, just full of mind games and controlling. When it's explained and you connect with the words, it all makes sense. And I'm angry with this type of person. You know, for me, maybe because my son is one, I look at this differently. I don't look at this in anger. But I did go through a lot of forgiving and all that. To me, I feel sorry. Because truly, ladies, listen, what is life about? Life is about experiencing love, right? Love of your children, love of yourself, love of others. And these people are incapable of loving. So for me, I feel sorry for them because they're missing out on what they're literally walking around like a zombie. They don't know what life really is about, where we do. We know how to love. And these people came into our lives for a reason. If you're a client of mine or you've gone on a call with me, you know exactly if this was the energy that you were operating from or the part of you that you were pushing down, I pull this out, right? So I know for me, I married my ex, him being a narcissist, because I didn't recognize that part of where I came from, right? I didn't know that, which was my mom. And I didn't see that part of her. So that's just how it is. When you don't see all of the parts of you, you don't recognize all of the parts of you, you don't acknowledge, love, and give all the parts of you a voice, that part of you will always show up in an unhealthy way in your life. So these people are actually a gift to you. So I don't feel angry. I never did. I really feel sorry for them because of the fact that they will never experience love. And love is so beautiful. So I'm going to continue on. And I love that no matter how hard you beg and plead for my love and admiration to feel valued in return, it won't happen as long as I'm in control. Why would I let it when I'm hooked on deriving pleasure from depriving you of anything that would be wind beneath your wings, risking you'd fly away from me? It gives me great pleasure to not give you what you yearn for, the tenderness you need and want, and to burst your every dream and bubble, then telling myself I'm no fool. I love that I can control your attempts to get through to me by controlling your mind, in particular by shifting the focus on any discussion On to what's wrong with you, your failure to appreciate and make me feel loved, good enough. And of course, reminding you of all I've done for you and how ungrateful you are. I love how I skillfully manipulate others' opinions of you as well, getting them to side with me as the good guy and side against you as the bad guy, portraying you as needy, never satisfied, always complaining, selfish and controlling, and the like. I love how easy it is for me to say no to what may provide you a sense of value and significance in relation to me, with endless excuses, and that I instead keep your focus on my needs and wants, my discomforts or pain. I love feeling that I own your thoughts, your ambitions, and ensuring your wants and needs are solely focused on not upsetting me, keeping me happy. I love being the drug of choice you have to have, regardless of how I mistreat you, despite all the signs that your addiction to me is draining and energy from your life, that you are at risk of losing more and more of what you most value and hold dear, to include the people you love and those who love and support you. I love that I can isolate you from others who may nourish you and break the spell, and I love making you mistrust them so that you conclude no one else really wants to put up with you but me. I love that I can make you feel I'm doing you a favor by being with you and throwing crumbs your way like a vacuum. The emptiness inside me is in constant need of sucking the life and breath and vitality you bring to my life, which I crave like a drug that can never satisfy, that I fight to hoard and hate the thought of sharing. While I hate you and my addiction to your caring attention, my neediness keeps me craving to see myself through your caring eyes, ever ready to admire, adore, forgive, make excuses for me, and fall for my lies and traps. I love that you keep telling me how much I hurt you, not knowing that, to me, this is like a free marketing report, which lets me know how effective my tactics have been to keep you in pain, focused on my pain, so that I am ever the winner in this competition, assuring that you never weaken control with me, your love and emotional closeness stuff. Ooh, take a deep breath on that, ladies. That was a lot. Take a deep breath. We're getting towards the end. Let me check the I'm just reading your messages. Yeah. Yep. So I also do recognize how I did some of these things too, sadly. Yeah, but guess what? It's a gift, because now you know. And now you won't ever do it again, right? You'll never attract a narcissist again in your life. And you need to heal that part of you. And you are. He totally had me convinced, stupid, inadequate, yet I was the one with the higher education and knowledge. He had a grade 10 education, yet I felt stupid and less than him. He was masterful at manipulating the kids and turning them against me. They all are. They all are. That is without a doubt. Yeah, I get that too. It really is sad they can't experience love. I now have compassion for those I know, since I worked on this recently. And I guess by getting involved, my lesson is to acknowledge my strength, which comes from hardship. And I now love myself enough now to go there again. Totally. Yeah, they do isolate. That is one of their, to not go there. That's okay. They are masterful. Listen, this is a personality disorder. Narcissism is a personality disorder. So I understand being mad if you're involved in a relationship with one, being pissed off and feeling taken advantage of. I get that. But you're not the one with the personality disorder. And the good news is you can heal this part of you. For them, there is no good news because not only have you left them, but there's no cure for this. There really is no cure for this. It is what it is. They have a personality disorder. All right, so we're getting close to the end. So, in short, when I say I love you, I love the power I have to remain in mystery that you'll never solve because of what you do not know, and refuse to believe that the only one who can win this zero-sum winner-takes-all game is the one who knows the rules. My sense of power rests on ensuring you never succeed at pursuing me to join you in creating a mutually kind relationship because, in my worldview, being vulnerable, emotionally expressive, kind, caring, empathetic, innocent are signs of weakness, proof of inferiority. Thanks, but no thanks. I resolve to stay on my winner-takes-all ground, ever in competition for the prize, gloating in my narcissistic ability to be heartless, callous, cold, calculating, and proud to ensure my neediness for a sense of superiority isn't hampered. Forever love limiting your narcissist. P.S. I really, really need help, but you cannot do this work for me, not without making things worse for both of us. Remember, we're co-addicted to each other. So we'd never go to an addict to get help, right? Only a therapist with experience in this stands a chance. And even then, only if I choose to really, really, really let him or her. That's because I'd have to face my greatest fear that not only am I not superior to everyone, and thus not entitled to make and break rules as I please, but I'd also have to own that my own actions, thoughts, and beliefs about myself and others are the main cause of the suffering in my life. And changing them. The solution, I would not ever want to do this for the sole reason that, from my worldview, only the feeble-minded and weak do such things. How you like that shit? No, you're not born a narcissist, Joanne. No, you're groomed to be a narcissist. And that is because of the way that they are treated as children. So, like I was saying earlier, I could talk more about my son because I was there from the beginning. So just like we talk about when we're 5 and under, we're golden, we're beautiful, we don't give a shit about bedhead, and we're just who we really are, right? And then from 5 and over, we get covered, right? With layers and layers, layers and layers and layers, layers of shit, of muck, right? And that's how a narcissist is born. No, they're not born narcissists. They're groomed to be a narcissist. So my son is the best example that I can use because he's my son. When he was little, he was the most loving, sweet, laid back. Like I even remember specifically him and his sister and his cousin are all around a year apart. And him and his cousin are 3 months apart. And I remember babies, kids, they take toys away. And I remember my son being like, he just didn't care at all. And went to the toy box and got himself another toy. So laid back. And then, first of all, he has a father, to example. Most boys do turn out like their dads. Yes, it is a choice, absolutely. True. This was his example because remember, the same gender parent is the strongest role model. So, and I'm not making excuses, it just is what it is, but this was his role model. These were things that he saw. And so now he's a full-blown narcissist and he doesn't even know it. And we talk, but our conversations once in a while would get maybe a layer deep, but not anything real because it's all about him. It's all about how much money he makes and how many cars he has and how many, it's always about him. I've come to accept it. I'll never have a real relationship with my son because of this, because there's no cure. So the last comment says, my husband hates his father, but doesn't realize that he has the same personality disorder. And that's usually how it is when thank you, Robin, back at you. When there's somebody in our life that triggers us, that's because that's the part of us that we cannot see. So for your husband, his father triggers him because that's the part of him he cannot see. My son is not at all like his dad. He is sensitive soul and refuses to even see or speak to his dad. Good. He's probably more like you then. He knew before I did his dad was a narcissist. So I'm going to take everybody off of mute now. How do I do that? Unmute all. Okay. So now is the time if you want to ask any questions or if you need any coaching. I first want to make sure everybody is clear. They have clarity around what it means when a narcissist says, I love you. Do you guys get it?
Yeah.
Got it.
Awesome. And, all this time I've had my earbuds in and you guys. Jeez. Okay. Do you have any questions or anything?
Is there one better response when you're involved with a narcissist to be able to keep yourself from getting caught up in their crap? Like when they try and do the power control over you, is there one particular, path to follow, I guess? I'm not quite sure what the word is I'm looking for.
I would say if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, get out.
Oh, yeah, that goes without saying, yeah. But when they want to try and engage you, for me, it's about walking away and taking responsibility. I'm just wondering if instead of walking away continually, is there one way that you can just go, okay, this is it? So you don't engage, you don't get caught up and engage in it?
Yeah, for you, yeah. I thought you meant, is there anything that you can do to try to change the way they are thinking?
No.
Yeah.
No, just to to stop yourself getting caught up in that roller coaster of garbage.
Yeah. Well, first to know that that's their shit, not yours. Yeah. But also at the same time to ask yourself, why is this person showing up in my life? What is this person teaching me? What is this person showing me? Because everybody in our life is showing us something. They are all a gift. And so if you do attract or keep attracting people like that, that means that there's a part of you that you haven't gone in and healed. And so that's why they keep showing up.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else?
I know my ex, when he would come around on the days that I looked, or if I was upset or not having a good day, if I looked weak, well, he was all over me like a dirty shirt. But on the days that I was strong and it was obvious, you couldn't get him to come handing me with the 10-foot pole. Mm-hmm. And I could stand there and watch him try to manipulate me. Mm-hmm. And it would make me giggle at the time. I was like, don't be so foolish, I'm not going to fall for that. But then it would make me angry later. Mm-hmm. He would still try to do that.
Yeah. Because for them, the mind games and the manipulating never end. It's a constant, like, wheel spinning in their head. They don't know anything else but to do that. Like for you and me, we eventually, if we do play along with it, we get exhausted. Like that's a lot of energy to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for them, it's not. That's just who they are. It'll never change.
This article gave me a lot of clarity over, like I could understand. It was like, okay, there's the hows and the whys. But lately, and I don't know, I'm not sure why it is, but there seems to be, I have a lot more anger towards that again, and I'm not sure why.
You have a lot of anger towards what?
Towards him, and for him for doing it and me for letting it happen.
You need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive yourself.
Yeah.
You need to forgive yourself, and you need to realize that he came into your life for a reason. And you really just need to, if you can, get to the point of getting past the anger for him and feeling sorry for him, because like I said, he will never experience love. But what I would say to you first is for you to focus on you first and forgive yourself for attracting that into your life.
Right. And I understand that. I do get that. I do understand that.
We're going to get to that later in the next 6 months. I promise you. We get to forgiveness. So just hang in there. It's coming down the pipe. Anybody else? Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Go ahead, Darcy.
So it was interesting because as I was listening to all that, I so saw Richard, and then there were times when I saw me, and then I think it's, I was angry at the part of being a narcissist myself, which I came to terms with last week, which was kind of interesting. And then I even had my sister say to me, well, Darcy, I was just waiting for you to discover that you were a bit of a narcissist too. And I'm thinking, well, Darlene, you are one too, but we don't tell Darlene that. It was so funny. And I told my mom that. She says, well, I'm not going to discuss that. And I'm like, yeah, well, if it's truth. Now, the other thing that resonated with me is when I married Richard, everybody used to call me fluffy. Mm-hmm. I was emotional. I was sensitive. So it was me. And Richard was called Stoneheart. Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Right?
But then over the years, I saw that switch into me. Mm-hmm. That I'm still the fluffy that I was, but I wasn't, I'm fluffy in the way that not like, oh, she's like all poofy. It just means that I was sensitive and emotional and cared about people and this sort of thing. And then as time rolls by, I saw that, I've become that bit of that narcissist. And so thanks for pointing that out for myself this week, because I had to do a lot of forgiveness. I even spent some time chatting with my dad, with my own self, talking to my dad about the times when he pulled that power on me, and forgive him because he's my dad,
Right.
and forgive Richard, and and yet what I'm seeing right now, what he's doing is he's manipulating my daughters, which is sad because they're with him, but that's okay. They'll come to terms with it like your son will in time.
Yeah, that's the saddest part, is the kids.
Yeah.
That's the saddest part, because the kids are innocent and they don't know what we know. And well, what we know now, because we got sucked into it too.
Yeah.
They're literally getting sucked into it. And when it's your parent, like, I see this a lot. I see this with my ex and my friend's ex, where, and you too, Darcy, where it's like, remember, this is a competition. So if I have the kids with me, haha, you, guess what? I'm winning. You're losing, right? It's a constant competition. But what you have to come to as the parent on the other side is to know that they have their own journey.
Yeah.
Your kids have their own journey. And no matter what you do, you can't save them.
No.
It's their choice.
Yeah.
Now, when we're talking about younger kids, because I know yours are older, mine are older. When we're talking about younger kids that can't even defend themselves or make choices, that's a different story. But when they're older and teenagers, that's their choice. And it's their journey. And all you can do is just throw your hands up and hope that they will see the light one day. That's all you can do.
Yeah. I agree.
I'm thankful my little boy has seen the light. He's noticed the difference, and he sees that everything is good now, because he did try to turn both of them against me in the very beginning, and they're not even his kids.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. He would be winning.
Yeah.
Right? It especially because they're not his kids. That would be an even bigger ha-ha. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
my little fellow thanked me. He told me it was okay. He wasn't mad at me anymore for making him go away. Life is better.
Good.
I even had a flashback too. I remember when we were going through a whole bunch of trials. This is 5 years ago, and curling up in the bed and just absolute defeat and despair, and getting nothing back. Right, like that was a tool he used and made me feel so small that it's taken 4 years of growth and then the separation to get through all this. I'm quite astounded at the moment, actually.
But you're here now.
No, it's good, right?
Yeah.
Good. It's cool. It's great.
It's definitely a recovery.
Yeah.
I've been away from my ex for 6 years now, and I'm still recovering. This is why I do these calls. Yeah, definitely. It's like we were, on drugs all those years, and we're still trying to get home. Really, I mean, it's something that, like you said, Darcy, that you were this type of person, and then over the years, because of the energy that you were sharing, you kind of turned into or took on his energy, right? So now people are saying you're a bit of a narcissist. Well, which is okay, because it is what it is. But
points out a narcissist.
if you were a full narcissist, you would not be on this call right now, and you would not admit to that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. We went over an hour, ladies.
I know. Woohoo.
That's because this is some serious shit.
That's right. That's right.
We needed it, I guess, right?
Yeah, you did.
Awesome. All right. Well, if nobody has anything else that they need from me, then I'll close out the call. It will be uploaded on my YouTube channel after tonight. So you can, if you want a replay of it, it'll be there. As always, I mean, a lot of my clients are on here, but if you're not a client and you want some clarity around this, you can jump on a 90-minute coaching call with me. It is absolutely free. And I'll walk you through this narcissism stuff. And if you are my client, thank you so much for being here also. And you always have access to me. So, all right. We're good?
We're good.
We're all good.
We're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
All right. Some of you will see tomorrow, and the rest I'll see next Tuesday.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks,
Bye.
Denise.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.